So today we will convert units by using unit rate. This is a skill that you used in the 6th grade, and we're going to continue to use this skill in the 7th grade, except for it's going to get a little bit more complex. Same skill, but in 7th grade you'll be performing multi-step conversions. So what we'll do is we'll read the problem together first. After that, I'll go over all of the steps that you're going to be doing for every type of problem that you're going to see like this, and then we'll solve it. We'll look at another example, another problem. You'll take notes on that one as well, and then you'll get started on your assignment. So first of all, a scientist used 786 milliliters of a liquid for an experiment. How many liters of the liquid did the scientist use for this experiment? So the scientist started out using 786 milliliters. And they want to know how many liters did the scientist use for this experiment. So the very first step that we want to do when we're solving these type of problems is we want to identify the units and the amount that you started out with. In this case, we started out with 786 milliliters. And then we want to identify what the unit is that we're trying to find. So in this case, we're trying to find out how many liters 786 milliliters would be. Our second step after that is we're going to have to find the conversion rate. And what I mean by that is we're going to have to find out how many milliliters there are in a liter. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. When you take the STAR test will actually give you all of the conversions that you need to know. In class, I'll usually give them to you, or you can actually Google to find out what the conversion rate is. In this case, there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Notice that I kept the colors the same, and I did that just so that we can kind of organize our work and you can see what we're doing as we're making the conversions. This is something that I always encourage students when we're converting unit rates to do them in matching colors, because it kind of helps you to see and organize the information in your brain. So I would highly suggest if you can use multiple colors that you do. So first, we identified the units that we started out with, and then we identified that we're trying to go from milliliters to liters. Second, we found the conversion rate. There are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Our third step is that we're going to multiply our 786 milliliters by this conversion rate that we found. And remember, it's 1 liter for 1,000 milliliters. Notice that I used the colors and I kept the colors the same. So milliliters here is in blue, and then liters here is in green. Now next, before we can multiply the 786 milliliters by 1 liter over 1,000 milliliters, we're going to have to put this 786 over 1. So we make this into a fraction. And then from there, we're just multiplying fractions. So this becomes 786 times 1, and then 1 times 1,000. Now, 786 times 1 is 786 over 1 times 1,000, which is 1,000. Now here's the important part. Notice when we multiplied this fraction here with this fraction here, we had milliliters in the denominator here, and milliliters in the numerator here. We did that on purpose so that we can divide or cancel them out. Whenever we have a unit that's in the numerator and the denominator, we can cancel them out. And then we're left with liters. So this is 786 liters divided by 1,000. If we do the division here, 786, top dog goes in the house, divided by 1,000, then we end up with 786 thousandths. So 786 milliliters is equal to 786 thousandths. And if we look, we can see that the answer here is C. So let's just backtrack and review our steps. First step, we read the problem and we identified the units that we started out with, which was this. And then we figured out, what are we trying to get? We were trying to get to liters. Our second step is we had to find the conversion rate. We had to find out how many milliliters there are in a liter, right? After we identified that unit rate, then we multiplied the number that we started out with by that unit rate, which you'll see we did here in the third step. And then after that, we just simplified it. But the important part here was that we canceled out the milliliters that were in the numerator and denominator.